from the year of 2017. We have a full body statue of the late president here, and we have started this webinar by honoring the statue, by garlanding the statue and putting flowers at the feet of the great scientist. So now to talk more about the achievements and life and times of Dr. Abdul Kalam, our resource persons are here. Dr. P. Nalasamy from Tagore Government Arts and Science College, Puducherry, who will be talking on biography of the missile man of India, and then followed by Professor R.R. Ilangovan, former ISRO scientist, who will be talking to you about Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam and Indian space technology. I hope we have a very good number of participants who are logged in for this webinar, students and from all across the stratum of students, teachers and all. I hope this webinar will be very useful, very interactive and useful to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for your keynote address. Now, it's going to be technical session, and it's a great pleasure in inviting the first speaker, Dr. P. Nalasamy, who is Associate Professor of Physics at Tagore Arts and Science College, Puducherry. And sir has worked as principal of Perundalavar Kamarajar Arts College, Kadithirthalkuppam of the state government of Puducherry. And he has a teaching experience of 33 years in various government arts and science colleges. Is former executive council member of Pondicherry University, member Board of Studies in Physics of Pondicherry University. His area of specialization includes non-linear dynamics and molecular spectroscopy. He had his BSc and MSc from St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli, and MPhil with Professor M. Lakshmanan, who is Bhatnagar Awardee of Bharathidasan University. And he has done his PhD with Professor S. Mohan of Pondicherry University and published papers in various national and international journals, and has attended various national and international conferences. And he has published a book in Tamil, Ma Manithargalin Magathana Kalam. And great pleasure in inviting you for this webinar, sir. And now I request sir to deliver his lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the nice introduction. Respected Madam Smita, IAS Secretary, Dr. Savaya Albrecht, Senior Scientific Officer, and Dr. Ilangovan, who will be the next speaker, and Mr. Srinivasa Rao, Scientific Officer, DSTE, and all the participants, professors, students, and all the scientists who are attending this webinar. இன்று உண்மையிலேயே ஒரு மகிழ்ச்சியான நாள். இந்த கோளரங்கத்தில் அப்துல் கலாம் அவர்களுடைய முழு உருவச்சிலை நமது மேடம் ஸ்மிதா ஐஏஎஸ் அவர்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி முழு உருவச்சிலை வைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. அந்த சிலைக்கு மேடம் அவர்களுடைய தலைமையிலே எல்லோரும் சென்று மாலை அணிவித்து மரியாதை செலுத்திவிட்டு வந்துள்ளோம். Now the topic is Missile Man of India. Bharat Ratna Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, former President of India, born in October 15th, 1931 in Rameswaram. So, it is his 90th birth anniversary now. And the United Nations declared October 15th as World Students' Day in 2010 to celebrate the birthday of Dr. Kalam. So today is World Students' Day. And you all know the International Day of Nonviolence is observed on October 2, the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi. So next to Mahatma, it is Kalam's birthday that an international body had declared a day as for a common cause. That is a day of importance. Such is the importance given to the Dr. Abdul Kalam by the world or other countries. So, alumni of St. Joseph's College, Trichy. Kalam went to St. Joseph's College, Trichy, and completed BSc Physics in 1954. And the next speaker today is Professor Ilangovan, who is a former ISRO scientist who had the chance to work with Abdul Kalam. It's really great. And he is the right person to speak. அதே மாதிரி என்னை பொறுத்து எனக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு தகுதி இருக்குதா அங்கே பேசுறதுக்கு அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா கொஞ்சம் தகுதி இருக்குது. என்ன அப்படின்னா, அப்துல் கலாம் படித்த அதே காலேஜில் சென்ட் ஜோசப்ஸ் காலேஜ் ட்ரிச்சி, ஐ ஹவ் ஆல்சோ ஸ்டடிட் பிஎஸ்சி அஸ் வெல் அஸ் எம்எஸ்சி. ஸோ அப்துல் கலாம் படித்த அதே கல்லூரியில் நானும் படித்தவன் அப்படிங்கிற முறையில் ஒரு பெருமையோடு இங்கே நம்ம உங்க முன்னால நம்ம பேசலாம். Kalam says about his college. St. Joseph's College gave me education with creativity and above all the knowledge for good life and practice. Thank you, Reverend Fathers, brothers and teachers who gave me learning to become a good citizen of my country. And this is the Department of Physics, St. Joseph's College. And this department is started in the year 1881. So I think now nearly 140 years old department. So this is the place where Abdul Kalam did his BSc Physics. And day before yesterday, on 13th, St. Joseph's College celebrated the Kalam's birthday. And you can see the Kalam's photo in the department front. Also they have placed there to as indication of his missile man. And this is the inner part of the department. And this is the classroom where Kalam studied his degree. And this is the group photo of St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, of BSc Physics 1952 to 54. And there you can see his sign, A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. He signed when we visited the college. And he was very eager to see the photo and locate his position where he was there. Actually, he's standing in second row. And this is one photo you can see. The sitting left corner is the student Abdul Kalam as a student in the year 1953. So he stayed in the new hostel St. Joseph's College, and you can see the Abdul Kalam as a student. So this is the hostel where Kalam stayed, and actually this hostel is having 4 blocks, and this block is the southern part of the block in the western side. And this is the Father's Lodge, Jesuit residence of St. Joseph's College. Now we have to think of the father's contribution, Reverend Father's contributions to the society. You know, Abdul Kalam is from Rameswaram, a remote part of the Tamil Nadu, and he is from a poor family, and he is a Tamil medium student, and he studied in a government school. So such peoples is a first generation learner from the family. He is coming to first person to come to college. So such persons, the Reverend Fathers of St. Joseph's College, Jesuit fathers, giving admission, and they are making them to come up in life. So in Abdul Kalam's life, we can very well say the Jesuit fathers played a important role. In other words, they gave the first lift to Abdul Kalam. So he entered Trichy as a schoolboy, but he left Trichy almost as a scientist. So we'll thank the Jesuit fathers of St. Joseph's College. After his BSc Physics, Kalam did BTech in Aeronautical Engineering from the Madras Institute of Technology in the year 1958. After completing BTech, he joined the DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. And in 1969, from DRDO, Kalam moved to the Indian Space Research Organization. And Kalam was project director of the SLV-3, the first satellite launch vehicle that was both designed and produced in India. Kalam single-handedly supervised every aspect of the project. And July 18th, 1980, SLV-3 was successfully launched from Sriharikota Range. And it deployed the Rohini satellite in the orbit. And it is the first successful satellite launched by India. And thus India became the 7th member of an exclusive club of spacefaring nations. Spacefaring nations means the countries which are having the capability to put the satellites into orbit. Now, Professor Satish Dhawan as a teacher. I told you already, the St. Joseph's College gave him the first lift. Then it is Satish Dhawan who gave the second and important lift and played an important role in Abdul Kalam's life. Kalam says, when I asked Satish Dhawan for help, he said he will teach me how to design a contra-rotating propeller. That is, Kalam approached Satish Dhawan, who was IIC director at the time. He's IIC director, ISRO chairman, both posts he was having. And Kalam approached Dhawan to teach him how to design a contra-rotating propeller. And Dhawan accepted to teach Kalam about the propeller design. Kalam says, it was a great teacher's affair. I was jubilant and started attending the classes. And Kalam says, the unique feature of his teaching was that he created a spirit of research and inquiry in me and taught me how to design without giving me the design. So he has not given the design, but he taught him how to make the design. And Dhawan tested the degree of my assimilation and application potential. So with this background, I attended all the 10 lectures given by Dhawan, and I developed the confidence that I could design the contra-rotating propeller. See how the Kalam respects his teacher, right? So this is the important thing the students of today's community should know. What are the importance of teacher, even a big person's has to think of and respect the contribution by the teachers. And Dhawan selected me as a project director of SLV-3. So Dhawan is a IAC director, is a doctorate, he did a MTech in engineering also. But Kalam is simply a BTech from Anna University, that is MIT. He is not having any PG degree or doctorate or not having in foreign experience also, because somebody say you are foreign returned and foreign experience. Kalam is not having anything else. No foreign experience, no PhD, no PG degree in engineering. But Dhawan identified the potential within Kalam, and he assigned the job of the satellite launch vehicle Dhawan, and அந்த கலாம் என்ற பெருநெருப்பு, அந்த பெருநெருப்பை கண்டுபிடித்தவர் தவான். So the satellite was launched successfully, and what happened now? See this picture. Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, the former president of India. In 1981, Abdul Kalam was awarded the Padma Bhushan. Right? So, a scientist in the ISRO got a Padma Bhushan. So all these things Kalam says. Because of the Dhawan gave me the responsibility, and I was able to successfully complete the work assigned to me. So we can say the Jesuit fathers gave the first lift to Kalam, and Professor Satish Dhawan gave the second lift to Kalam, and now when Kalam was working in ISRO after the successful launch of the SLV-3, immediately Kalam was transferred to DRDO in the year 1982. So he was given the responsibility to lead the integrated guided missile development program. But Dhawan was reluctant to transfer Kalam to the DRDO from ISRO. Anyhow, the government of India insisted on it, and he was transferred, and we know the remaining story. Kalam planned in the program that produced a number of successful missiles, and hence the nickname Missile Man. So a famous scientist, a famous engineer who was responsible for was the project director of the SLV-3, now a missile man. Agni, Prithvi, all these missiles were successfully launched by India, and the SLV-3, the aspects of SLV-3 was incorporated in the Agni missile. India got the first range of ballistic missiles, the Prithvi, Agni, Akash, and Ranak. The Prithvi is the tactical surface-to-surface missile, and Agni is the intermediate range ballistic missile that launched successfully. And due to this remarkable achievement under the Kalam, from 92 to 97, Kalam was scientific advisor to the defense minister, and Kalam played a leading role in India's nuclear weapons programs. His role in the 1998 nuclear weapons test enabled India as a nuclear power and established Kalam as a national hero. See, in this photograph, we have the former Prime Minister Abdul, and then Defense Minister George Fernandez, and we have this Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. So, three projects, all the three, Abdul Kalam was the leading person, is the leader, successful. The first one, the satellite launch. So, India is member of the spacefaring nations. Successful launch of the rocket and the satellite. Second one, the missiles. Successfully, India tested the missiles, produced its own missiles, indigenously developed the missiles. The third one is atomic bomb testing, right? So atomic bomb was tested, and India has become a nuclear power. With the missiles, India became a, and with the atom bomb testing, India as a nuclear power. So the result, what's the result? Kalam, and established Kalam as a national hero. So became a hero of India, and all the people of India are appreciating the contribution made by the Kalam. And when the Pokhran test was conducted, the Indian science community, the scientific community, actually the people in charge, hoodwinked Western intelligence, because those peoples will try to prevent the atom bomb testing. மேற்கத்திய நாடுகளின் கண்களில் மண்ணை தூவிவிட்டு வெற்றிகரமாக அணுகுண்டு சோதனையை நடத்தி முடித்தார் கலாம். அணுகுண்டு சோதனைக்கு சக்தி என்றும் கலாமிற்கு கர்னல் பிருத்திவிராஜ் என்றும் பெயரிட்டனர். See here, Kalam is with the military dress. கலாம் உட்பட நிபுணர்கள் அனைவரும் ராணுவ உடையணிந்தே இப்பணியில் ஈடுபட்டனர். அமெரிக்க உளவு செயற்கைக்கோள்களின் கண்காணிப்பை தவிர்க்க நேர அட்டவணை ஒன்றை தயாரித்தார் கலாம். எந்த நேரத்தில் வேலை செய்ய வேண்டும், எந்த நேரத்தில் வெளியே வரக்கூடாது, எந்த நேரத்தில் அணு ஆயுதங்கள் தாங்கிய வாகனங்கள் செல்ல வேண்டும் என்பதை தீர்மானித்தனர். இராணுவ பயிற்சி நடைபெறுவது போன்று ஒரு தோற்றத்தை, ஒரு மாயத் தோற்றத்தை ஏற்படுத்தி பாலைவனத்தில் மணலை ஒரு பக்கத்திலிருந்து மற்றொரு பக்கத்திற்கு குவிக்கும் வேலையை பல நாட்கள் செய்ய வைத்தார் கலாம். பெரும்பாலான பணிகள் இரவில் மட்டுமே நடந்தன. எந்தவித நிர்பந்தங்களுக்கும் ஆளாகாமல் வெற்றிகரமாக அணுகுண்டு சோதனையை நடத்தி காட்டினார் கலாம். So, Western countries were not aware that such an exercise is going on. And Kalam successfully completed the Pokhran-2 nuclear test. And Kalam is the chief coordinator. See, again, look here. Kalam is not the atomic scientist, but he is the chief coordinator. Right? So everywhere, wherever Kalam is chief, that project is successful. That's the specialty of Abdul Kalam. And the tests achieved the main objective of giving India the capability to build fission and thermonuclear weapons. People's president. So Kalam was the first scientist to become the president of India, and he is the 11th president, and his tenure is from 2002 to 2007. During his term, he was called as People's President because of his humility, integrity, vision, and his immense contribution to inspire and nurture the young minds of the nation. Dr. Kalam had always encouraged the young population of India to develop the habit of reading, and he wrote many inspirational books that addressed the burning issues relevant to India. You can see here the students, the children's, how with the smiling faces wants a handshake with the President Abdul Kalam. இந்திய குடியரசுத் தலைவராக கலாம் இருந்த காலத்தில் தினமும் குறைந்தது 200 மாணவர்களையாவது சந்திப்பதை வழக்கமாக கொண்டிருந்தார். உலகிலேயே 2 கோடி மாணவர்களை சந்தித்து அவர்களோடு உரையாடி அவர்களின் கேள்விகளுக்கு பதிலளித்து அவர்கள் மத்தியில் ஒரு எழுச்சியை உருவாக்கியவர் டாக்டர் அப்துல் கலாம். And all of you know, his books are also famous. The Wings of Fire, The Ignited Minds, Vision 2020. So, the autobiography Wings of Fire has so far been translated in 13 languages, including Chinese and French. So, the specialty of Abdul Kalam is not only is popular in India, and is throughout the world. All the countries are appreciating the genius of Kalam. Some of his other notable masterpieces are India 2020, Vision for the New Millennium, published in the year 1998, and Ignited Minds, Unleashing the Power Within India. It was in 2002 released, and it is also the bestseller. Ignited Minds narrates the obstacles that are preventing India from rising up to the challenge of development. Not only Kalam wrote books, but there are many books about Kalam also. Kalam உடைய அறிவியல் ஆலோசகர் பொன்ராஜ் ஒரு புத்தகம் எழுதியிருக்காரு, ஆகலாம் அறிவியல் கலாம் சொல்லி. அதே மாதிரி அவருடைய செக்ரட்டரி அந்த நாயர் IAS, former chief secretary of Puducherry, has also written a book, My Experience with Kalam. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி கலாம் பற்றியும் கூட கிட்டத்தட்ட நியர்லி 4 or 5 books have been written by various peoples. The people who are associated with Kalam in his during the presidency or as a scientist. Simplicity. Upon returning to civilian life, Kalam remained committed for the use of science and technology to transform India into a developed country. Kalam served as a visiting professor at several universities. நீங்க பாருங்க, சாதாரண ஒரே ஒரு ரூம் தான், இந்த ஒரு அறை தான் வந்து அவருடைய, எங்க இருந்தாலும் சரி ஒரே ஒரு அறை மட்டும்தான் அவருடைய தேவை. ஒரு முறை வந்து கலாம் வந்து DRDO சேர்மன் அண்ட் he was scientific advisor to the defense minister. அப்போ வந்து அவருக்கு வந்து Z+ செக்யூரிட்டி, பாதுகாப்பு படை, கருப்பு பூனை படை எப்பவுமே கூடவே இருக்கும். இந்த மாதிரி சமயத்துக்கு ராமேஸ்வரம் போயிருக்காரு. அங்க வந்து கண்ணுல ஒரு பிரச்சனை. ஸோ மதுரை அரவிந்த் கண் மருத்துவமனை, மிகவும் புகழ்பெற்ற கண் மருத்துவமனை, மதுரை அரவிந்த் கண் மருத்துவமனை, அங்க போலாம் முடிவு பண்றாரு. ஆனா வித் பிளாக் கமாண்டோஸ் போனோம்னா அங்க இருக்கிற பேஷன்ஸ், நோயாளிகளுக்கு சிரமமா இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தனியா போறாரு. இவரே தனியா போறாரு, யார்கிட்ட சொல்லாம ஒரே ஒருத்தர் சொல்லிட்டு ரகசியமா போறாரு. இந்த கருப்பு பூனை படைக்கு தெரியாது இவர் போறாரு அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து. அங்க போகும்போது கலாம் வந்து பணம் எடுத்துட்டு போகல, காசோலை மட்டும் தான் கொண்டு போறாரு. அங்க அட்மிட் ஆக போகும்போது அவங்க சொல்றாங்க, அந்த கவுண்டர்ல இருக்க அவங்களுக்கு கலாம் அடையாளம் தெரியல. நான் இவர் தொலைதளவு பைஜாமா போட்டுட்டு ரொம்ப சாதாரணமா போயிருக்காரு. ஸோ அடையாளம் தெரியாததுனால அவங்க வந்து பணம் இல்லைன்னா உங்களுக்கு சேர்த்த முடியாதுங்க, செக் நாங்கள் வாங்கிக்க மாட்டோம் சொல்லிட்டாங்க. சரி என்ன பண்ணலாம்னு கேட்கும்போது இலவச பிரிவு இருக்குது, அங்கே சேர்ந்துக்கிறோம் கேட்குறாங்க. அங்கே இருக்கிற ஸ்டாஃப் கேட்குறாங்க. கலாம் அப்படியே சரி நான் சேர்ந்துக்கிறேன்னு சொல்றாரு. இப்போ இலவச பிரிவில் அட்மிட் ஆகிட்டாரு. இந்த நிலைமையில வந்து ராமேஸ்வரத்தில் தேடுறாங்க, கலாம் எங்கிட்டு தேடுறாங்க, கிடைக்கல. ஒரே பரபரப்பாயிடுச்சு. டெல்லி வரைக்கும் நியூஸ் போயிடுச்சு கலாம், ஏன்னா பிகாஸ் இஸ் சயின்டிபிக் அட்வைசர் டு த டிஃபென்ஸ் மினிஸ்டர், DRDO சேர்மன், எவ்வளோ பெரிய போஸ்ட் இருக்கவர். அப்புறம் சமூகம் கண்டுபிடிச்சு எல்லாம் வர்றாங்க. அந்த அரவிந்த் மருத்துவமனைய தலைவர் வந்து வெங்கடசாமி, டாக்டர் வெங்கடசாமி, அவர் பதறி போய் அடிச்சு பிடிச்சி தேடுறாங்க. போய் அந்த இலவச பிரிவுல போய் பாக்குறாங்க. கமாண்டாக்களும் டாக்டர் வெங்கடசாமி சேர்மனும் போய் அங்க பார்க்கும்போது தரையில ஒரு பாயில படுத்திருக்காரு கலாம். அதை பார்த்த பதறி போன வெங்கடசாமி கேட்கிறாரு, என்ன சார் இப்படி பண்ணிட்டீங்க? அது கலாம் சொன்னாரு, ஏழை நோயாளிகளுக்கு முகம் சுளிக்காமல் சிகிச்சை அளிப்பதை இங்கு நான் பார்த்தேன். ஒரு சாமானியனா நான் வரலைனா இப்படி ஒரு உன்னதமான இடம் இந்த உலகத்தில் இருக்கிறதே எனக்கு தெரியாம போயிருக்கும் என்று நெகிழ்ச்சியுடன் சொல்லியிருக்கார். சொன்னது மட்டும் கிடையாது, அந்த மருத்துவமனைக்காக ஒரு பெரிய தொகைக்கு காசோலை எழுதி கொடுத்தார் கலாம். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய பதவியில் இருந்துகிட்டு ஒரு சாதாரண ஒரு பாயில படுத்து சிகிச்சை எடுக்கக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு மிகவும் எளிமையான மனிதராக வாழ்ந்தவர் டாக்டர் கலாம். After his retirement from DRDO, Kalam was appointed as the first ever principal scientific advisor to the government of India from November 1990 to 2001. And the principal scientific advisor is a cabinet rank. So, மத்திய அமைச்சர் பதவி, அந்த தகுதியோடு வந்து he was advisor to the Prime Minister. And during this period, Kalam supervised committees making master plans regarding defense, agriculture, healthcare, and information technology. நம்ம பார்த்தோம் இந்த போக்ரான் டெஸ்ட், ஆட்டம் பாம் டெஸ்ட் வந்து கலாம் தான் சீஃப் கோஆர்டினேட்டர், அவர் தான் வெற்றிகரமாக முடிச்சாரு. இப்போ அவர்கிட்ட ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்டாங்க பத்திரிகையாளர்கள், நீங்க வந்து காந்தியவாதி, அஹிம்சையை விரும்புகின்றவர்கள், சமாதான காவலர், நீங்க வந்து ஒரு அணு ஆயுதம் தயாரிக்க போலாமா, இது செய்யலாமா, எப்படி வந்து நீங்க இந்த செய்யலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு கேள்வி கேட்டாங்க. அது கலாம் சொன்னாரு, அணுகுண்டு தயாரிப்பது எந்த நாட்டின் மீதும் போடுவதற்கு அல்ல, அது போருக்காக அல்ல. நமது நாடு வலிமையாக இருக்க வேண்டும், இந்தியா ஒரு வல்லரசாக இருக்க வேண்டும். இந்தியா should be a powerful country. Strength only respects strength. ஸோ நம்ம வந்து பவர்ஃபுல்லா இருந்தா மட்டும்தான் நம்மள அண்டை நாடுகளாக இருந்தாலும் சரி அல்லது வல்லரசு நாடுகளாக இருந்தாலும் சரி யாராக இருந்தாலும் நம்மை மதிப்பார்கள். அதற்கு நாம் பலம் உள்ளவர்களாக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்று ஒரு நல்ல பதிலை தந்தவர் கலாம். இந்த புகைப்படத்தில் பார்க்கலாம் நீங்க. ஒரு சைடு பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் மன்மோகன் சிங், அதர் சைடு வந்து ரஷ்யன் பிரசிடென்ட் புட்டின். இந்த போட்டோல பாருங்க, இந்த போலியோ பேஷன்ஸ், இந்த போலியோ பேஷன்ஸ் காலில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க ஒரு கேலிப்பர்ஸ் மாட்டிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. அந்த கேலிப்பருடைய வெயிட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 4 kilograms. ஸோ போலியோ பேஷன்ஸே நடக்க முடியாமல் இருக்காங்க. அவங்க இந்த 4 கிலோ உள்ள வெயிட்டை காலில் மாட்டி நடக்கவே முடியாத மாதிரி இருந்தது. இதை பார்த்து யோசனை செய்த கலாம் என்ன பண்ணாருன்னா, அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஏன் ஒரு லைட் வெயிட்ல ஒரு மெட்டீரியல் தரக்கூடாது. ஸோ கலாம் ஹெல்ப் டு டெவலப் low weight calipers for polio patients. Calipers was developed from the same composite material used to manufacture the nose cone of the Agni missile. So இந்த அக்னி மிசைல்ல அந்த நோஸ்ல முனையில என்ன மெட்டீரியல் யூஸ் பண்றோமோ அந்த மெட்டீரியலை யூஸ் பண்ணி வந்து they prepared this calipers. இந்த காலிப்பர் ஷூ வந்து ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணாங்க. அப்ப என்னாச்சுன்னா அதனுடைய வெயிட் வந்து 4 kilogramல இருந்து 400 கிராமா மாறிடுச்சு. ஜஸ்ட் 1/2 கிலோ கூட கீழே வந்துருச்சு. 4 கிலோல இருந்து 1/2 கிலோ கீழே வந்துருச்சு. ஸோ இதை போட்டுக்கிட்டு ஒரு நாள் கிரவுண்ட்ல வந்து அப்துல் கலாம் வந்தாரு. அவங்க முன்னால சொன்னாங்க, இதை அந்த குழந்தைகள் வந்து எப்படி நடக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்க்கலாம் சொல்லி போட்டு கலாம் வந்திருக்காரு. குழந்தைகள் நல்லா சொன்னாங்க. அந்த குழந்தைகள் என்ன பண்ணாங்கன்னா, அந்த கலாம் டெவலப் பண்ண அந்த கேலிபர்ஸ் போட்டுக்கிட்டு ஓடவே ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க, வேகமா ஓட ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஸோ கலாமுக்கு அளவற்ற மகிழ்ச்சி. இப்போ சொல்றாரு, என்னுடைய கண்டுபிடிப்புகளிலேயே வந்து எனக்கு மிகவும் மகிழ்ச்சி தரக்கூடியது இந்த கண்டுபிடிப்பு தான் சொல்லி சொல்றாரு. ஸோ தட் வே is a fine human being. And in 1998, Kalam with cardiologist Soma Raju, Kalam developed a low-cost coronary stent named the Kalam Raju stent. ஸோ எனக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து ஹார்ட் ப்ராப்ளம், அப்போ வந்து பிளாக் இருந்தது அப்படின்னா ஸ்டென்ட் வைக்கிறாங்க. The cost of the existing stent was between 1 lakh, nearly 1 lakh இருக்கிற அந்த ஸ்டென்ட் வந்து அதுக்கு வந்து இந்த மெட்டீரியல் யூஸ் பண்ணி Kalam Raju stent was developed with a cost just rupees 10,000. ஸோ 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய்க்கு மேலே ஆகக்கூடிய அந்த ஸ்டென்ட்டை வந்து ஜஸ்ட் 10,000 rupeesல ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணுற மாதிரி வந்து கலாம் டிட். ஸோ கலாம் அப்ளைட் த நாலேஜ் ஆஃப் த மெட்டீரியல் சயின்ஸ் he learned to the welfare of the society. And Kalam received the Padma Bhushan in 1981 and Padma Vibhushan in 1990 and Bharat Ratna in the year 1997. So these are the 3 highest awards in India. But Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, all the 3 highest awards Kalam received. So we have many eminent personalities who got Bharat Ratna, but I don't think those people got all the 3 awards. So probably Kalam is the only person who got all the 3 highest awards in India. And the Padma Bhushan was conferred on him. Already we have seen after launch of SLV-3. And the Padma Vibhushan after the successful completion of the missiles Agni and Prithvi. And Bharat Ratna he received for his contribution to the scientific research and the modernization of defense technology in India. And he has received the King Charles II medal also in 2007. And he received various honorary doctorates from various universities, not only in India, from other countries. So many awards from various agencies. All these things we cannot list. So much awards he received for his contribution. And Kalam put forward a plan called Technology Vision 2020 for transforming India to a developed society in 20 years. So the plan includes increasing agriculture production, emphasizing technology as a vehicle for economic growth, and widening access to healthcare and education. So this is the Vision 2020 Kalam proposed the year 1998. And in the year 2015, he collapsed while delivering a lecture at the Indian Institute of Management, Shillong. And there are famous quotes of Abdul Kalam. Just we will see 2 which will be useful for everybody's life. If you want to be bright like a sun, First, burn like the sun. நீங்கள் சூரியனை போன்று பிரகாசமாக இருக்க வேண்டுமானால் எப்படி சூரியன்ல வந்து நியூக்ளியர் ரியாக்ஷன்ஸ் கண்டினியூஸா போயிட்டு இருக்கோம், அந்த மாதிரி நீங்களும் யூ ஹவ் டு burn. Burn means you have to work. You have to work like the sun. Then only you can shine like the sun. Then another quote: one beautiful heart is better than 1,000 beautiful faces. So choose people having beautiful hearts rather than faces. So in our day-to-day life, our companions, our friends, our colleagues, so whoever we choose as our companion for our life path, we should not see their faces or beautiful faces. We should see their heart as beautiful. People with a beautiful heart, we have to choose our companions. So this is the quote from Abdul Kalam. We have to keep in mind forever. And with this, I thank all the participants. And nearly today, the participants number is nearly 100, more than 100. It's a webinar. More than 100 participants attending is a really great thing. And the Department of Science and Technology has arranged such a good seminar. I thank the department, the Madam Secretary Smita IAS, and the scientific officers, and all the staff of this Science and Technology for giving me this nice opportunity. And thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now it is question hour. Audience, if you have any question, you ask the resource person, please. Audience. Over to the next technical session.
Sir, thank you for your elaborate profile of our former president and a great missile man, come space scientist, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. And now we move on to the next expert lecture. It is on Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam and Indian space technology. Great pleasure in inviting Professor R.R. Ilangovan, BSc, DMIT, MTech, an ex-colleague of Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, with 42 years of service along with him, and including 8 years of international experience in aerospace research and development with Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, ISRO. And he is involved in marketing and implementation of satellite communication projects and marketing of this space program in Middle East and African countries. 14 years of academic experience in teaching and established aeronautical engineering department at 3 countries. And has held various positions in India, Oman, and Eritrea. Worked in various positions in India, Oman, and Eritrea as scientist engineer, project manager, deputy general manager, head of the department, professor, chief operations officer, senior marketing officer, and vice principal. Sir, first of all, we are more thankful to you for immediately accepting our request and being with us for this today webinar on a great auspicious day. Over to you, sir, for your lecture, please.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the good words, good introduction. I was completely listening the lecture, and it was good. It was a very good biographic run through his life. Anyhow, I have a chance to follow Dr. Kalam from my high school days. I was also from Rameswaram, exactly Pamban's Island, most backward area of most backward district of Ramanathapuram. So I was here. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. It is audible, sir.
Okay, yeah, but no response.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tamil பேசலாம்ல சார்?
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
இல்ல, all others are there. That's other கேட்டேன் வேற ஒண்ணு. தமிழ்ல பேச English please. Okay. Mr. Gupta is asking in English. Okay. Pandapatya, right? Subir Kumar Pandapatya. Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Ashon, Boshon. Okay, right. I am actually from Rameswaram. I get good attendance with Dr. Kalam from his relative and his house and everybody I know, except Kalam. Because we cannot see him. In my high school, his classmates are teachers for me. So I learned about him from my classroom teachers mainly. So I will touch upon the technical, what are the technical setbacks and what are the innovation he has done throughout his life by meeting the failures, right? How he made it as a success, but definitely he has also a lot of shortcomings. And a person who worked with him, as I see him as a project manager, when I worked with him, he was a project manager and very tight, very blasting type because he had to finish a SLV project. That's a major thing, major aim at that time. So I joined in 1979 after my MTech from IIT Kharagpur, joined Dr. Kalam as a junior engineer at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. At the time, all the big shots were there. There's a cloud of titans. Okay, there are a lot of people big people are working there as a small person under him. So with I will start my PowerPoint. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir. You're audible.
But my PowerPoint is visible?
No, sir. No, sir. 4 point is not visible, sir.
No, sir. It is
4
not.
points
You
you are
have to
displaying.
allow to upload my PowerPoint, I think. In the screen only coming, but
Yes, sir. Right now.
sorry. See the
Yes,
PowerPoint?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, it is coming, sir.
PowerPoint is seen, right? But I am not seeing. Sir, are you seeing the first slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just kindly read for the confirmation. Am I seeing correctly? What is the first slide? Kindly read the first slide so that I can.
சுற்றுவட்ட பாதை.
Yeah, right. There is the orbit. He used to say, I am always in the orbit. Whenever his birthday, he used to say, I am in the 80th orbit. I am in the 85th orbit, like that. So it is his 90th orbit around the sun. Around sun. That's what he used to say, the satellite. Same thing. It is his 90th orbit. Are you seeing the next slide? Sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Guru,
we are seeing Dr. Kalam and Dr. Remja, both of my gurus who saved me in the life, motivated me. So I have read from Kalam lot of things that I am going to. Kalabidam non-padithe nature. So I am going to share the things with you, whatever I have learned in the Kalam. So as a short biodata, this is I am a BSc DMIT MTech from IIT and 42 years of experience, and I have already developed given at least more than 200 webinars on 57 topics in 72 institutions in this COVID time itself. But only thing, all are engineering colleges mainly. The first time I'm coming out and talking to a DSTE, even though my son another used to call me for a lot of time. So I gave a lecture now in the engineering college so far. The first time I had given in Arivil Palakai in Chennai. Followingly, I was called to give it in Puducherry. So there's a lot of things to share with the science people also. And I'm frankly telling, it is not a presentation about newspaper stories of Kalam. Right? Everybody knows that. And everybody telling he is riding a bicycle, and Kalam never ride a bicycle. This is what Dr. Aram used to say when he was in the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. So all this, what I concentrate on the technical lessons of Kalam, how he passed out, how he taught those lessons to us. And moreover, it is all from the, I am talking about some of the things which is not published. Right? The previous lecture was already published matter and from his, based on his autobiography. Right? But this is what I am going to tell is not published, and it is collected from the persons who had moved with him for last 40 to 45 years, like Sivadana Pillai, Dr. Sivadana Pillai, Dr. Aram, who have lost 1 month back, expired. And one more person is there. Okay, Dr. Well, he is another person, Sanders. So these are the people who have worked with him in Kalam and stayed as a roommate of Kalam in Indira Bhavan in Trivandrum. So a lot of books are published. There are some untold stories are there. Let us see one by one. It may be shocking to you also. So success is a failure, is a victory. Success is a failure, is a history. Nam Saritrama, அல்லது வெறும் வெற்றியா என்பதை நாம் தீர்மானிப்போம். So always read the failure stories. We'll get lots of lessons it is true in his life also. So Kalam Agalam is a title I used to give in every birthday. Okay, Kalam Agalam, this is my title. Every day I used to give it. Every year I used to give to the various institutions. And he's a student of all the three people, Professor Vikram Sarabhai, mentors, Sadish Devan, and most of the people who are not with him. He's a Brahma Prakash, Dr. Brahma Prakash, who was a director BSSC. Right. So Kalam is a lot of avatars of Kalam is there. He's as a student, and after that he's a scientist, and after that he's a missile man. He's a hero of the missile. Then he became parallelly became a advisor, senior scientific advisor, SSA and scientific advisor. Okay, so finally he produced the life, but he is a saint. In all the factors, he is a Turavi. He is a scientist. That's what ex-Prime Minister Gujarat used to tell. Kalam is a saint scientist in all this way. That's why if we read his life, we can understand. Right? The same first letter Kalam K is a Ka is for his Kalam. But he has, in his life, from the starting, he has find out lot of failures. Lot of failures he got it. That one by one, if you analyze itself, is enough for like next 6 hours. And what is the lesson and how he overcome, how all the management techniques are being done in each failure is giving you one management lesson and one new product to the space domain. So those are the things are along with him who traveled along with the Kalam, he used to tell them, and we understand. So after it, he was a sounding, but he started his life in 63 in ISRO. Remember, after 10 years only, he became a project director SLB. Right, we will cover from 63 70. As soon as he joined, he was sent to NASA for a training. Right, 63. And before that, he was in ADE Bangalore. From that only he come to ISRO, and he has attended two interviews. This is the second interview he attended. He didn't apply. He applied for 2 interviews. Third interview he didn't apply, but called for and given selected for the ISRO. So his first achievement is the sounding rocket. Is a basic is a sounding rocket. Everybody know what is sounding rocket, like easily everybody know. Then comes the SLV. Then as a director DRO, the Agni. Then the Brahmas. Right. These are the four missiles and vehicles which will prove all his technical lessons throughout the world. So one by one we'll see. And first thing is the first defeat is he was want to become a pilot that everybody knows. Everybody was a pilot. He also went for after MIT. He went to the Dehradun for the interview. First day interview, RP2 test, I2 test, everything is over. He has passed. Second day it was a direct Nerhanal. That is the interview was there, but he could pass out. Actually, he was passed there. There are 8 people are required. He was the 9th person. So that the 8 people are selected. So 9th Kalam was not selected. So we got a very good project director and a president afterwards. If you are selected, you will become an Air Force pilot alone. That's all. Okay. So his first one is a project in ADE. You can see is on the pedal. He was developing a hovercraft. He was given a job of developing a hovercraft from the nut and bolt. There is no such premier is not there. Not much reference. Not much prototypes are not available. Not much expertise is not available. So he was just nothing. But fortunately, he met Satish Dhawan in the IAS Institute of Science, and he helped him to build this hovercraft. The hovercraft project was going on for 3 years. A small team, right? Then that is his first challenge to him. So he put it, and at that time the defense minister. So he went to Abdul Satish Dhawan in the Institute of Science. He met him and consulted him for the construction. And it is what called GEM, ground equipment machine, which most of the people may not be knowing. It's a hovercraft of weight 5 kg and 40 mm cushion. So when we talk about technical details, we have to discuss there. Professor Satish Dhawan guided. At the time, defense minister was B.K. Krishnaman. He visited IDE Bangalore and saw that, and he was very much impressed. He took a ride with him. At the time, Kalam offered to drive the hovercraft. One of the group captain objected him taking a defense minister and handing over to a junior engineer. But Kalam told, I will take care with the asset, and he has drove the hovercraft. Right, then, but unfortunately, Krishnaman has to resign his job for some political reason at that time. So the Nandi project was dropped almost. Then at that time, M.G.K. Menon was the IAC TAFR. He came to visit to the JDE, and he overviewed the Nandi hovercraft and went and told Kalam, we will meet again. At that time, Kalam didn't understand what we will meet again soon. Yes, sir, next week, there is a telegram has come from Mumbai. You come on and attend the interview at Mumbai for the recruitment for it. Actually, M.G.K. Menon has come to collect the young people for the ISRO project sent by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. That is the place interview board only. He was seeing the Dr. Vikram Sarabhai face to face. Actually, he has met Satish Dhawan much before the Dr. Kalam Sarabhai. So he met him, he was selected and come to 1963. He was sent to. So there only Satish Dhawan's attitude became the master of the problem, don't defeat and succeed. Most of the people wrongly quoting it is Kalam's system. Right. So he used to work like anything, Kalam. And there are also some technical problems as suited here. First problem is the sounding rocket. He wanted to design a timer. Timer means As soon as the sounding rocket will leave the pair, the time clock must start working. It must start. What is the idea? He was making one circuit breaker type, the circuit diamond, and he wanted to display in front of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. It failed. So you are disappointed. Again, they have tried, and in a separate system, the system was working. But integrated with the electronics system, integrated with the mechanical system, it is not working. Again, he was failed support, and evening he went and beat Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and expecting a wrong firing from him. But Vikram Sarabhai gave a letter which told that he is promoted. So Kalam was bounded, spellbounded. Then he asked why again, no problem. He may be doing mistake, but you are going in a right direction. So that is a major point. In the technical, you must go in a right direction, so you may be failure. That is the first lesson for Vikram Sarabhai to Kalam, and Kalam followed it throughout his life. So go in a correct direction is a technical mainly. So he come back and he worked at that. And our Sadish Bhavan used to tell, Kalam doesn't need a oscillator. He himself will oscillate, propel himself, but he need a break. Right? He will be going on working. There are some players, sometimes he working, but anyhow, we have to say, around some night 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 days, he will continuously work. He will not go to his room. He will stay in the office. At the time, canteens and everything is not there. They will manage. And the proof like that, sounding rocket, he is in charge of the payload. When he was sounding rocket, and Vikram Sarabhai used to call him as a payload boy. The first sounding rocket which left Tumba, the payload was brought from him from America. Before the launching of 2 weeks only, Kalam arrived, and he was working on that. His responsibility is to fit the payload into the rocket. So he was doing all the operations, and people who are seeing him realized that Kalam will become a very good man, very good engineer afterwards. Those who selected him as appreciated him. So that's what is sounding rocket days. And this is what one of the famous photographs everybody has seen. And somebody thinks it's a Kalam and everything. No, it is not Dr. Kalam. And this is Mr. Dr. C.R. Satya. Now in Tata Metallics, now he is not okay. His health is not okay. He is taking rest in Bangalore. He is a man. He is the first man who was recruited by Dr. Kalam as an assistant. Right. So these kind of people has told completely about technical about all these people. So I learned, I heard, and I talked with them and collected the information from him. This is not Kalam. Actually, there was a launching in front of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. All the jeep, there was only one jeep was using Vikram Sarabhai space center. Now around some 7,000 buses are there for ISRO now. More than 1,000 buses. Right. So at that time, there was only one jeep that went, but they forgot to take the payload and the payload engineer. And Dr. Satya was in charge for the payload. So he is the Challappa Nair. So both of them taken by cycle is an official vehicle used in the Vikram Sarabhai at the time. But Kalam never ride the cycle. He used to go by billion rider only. So he has told some 3 or 4 incidents where there is a technical is more involved. And duty is when the first job given to Satya when he joined Dr. Kalam is to set up a angle for the sounding rocket while it is landing. Every Wednesday we will be launching a sounding rocket for the public. The sounding rockets are, you got to understand, we have got Vikram Sarabhai got a contract from other countries to launch a payload from Tumba, that is which is near to the equatorial. That way, lot of archive, but that payload has to be launched and it will carry the experiment of foreign scientists. That time itself. So the interaction of Kalam is with the foreign scientists for the payload integration. And he will integrate and launch. So Satya was to set up the launch angle. He set up, being as a first time, he set up the angle. The missile, the sounding rocket started. Kalam came running to Satya and told Satya, you are going to start a 3rd World War. And Satya couldn't understand what's up. He has set an angle and this sounding rocket is going to hit a Portugal ship which is standing on the sea. Even though all clear and the angle was so sad, it is directly going to that. Then luckily nothing has happened. He's fall down. And even now Satya used to share this is the 3rd World War starting. Once before the office of the turtles and there was a old man came and waiting outside. The department head of Kalam called him and inquired him what happened. Sir, my son is not coming one year to the house, not writing letter, not sending money. So I want to see him. So I have come from Rameswaram. Then he find out he is nothing but the father of Kalam. Right. So Murthy, VGS Murthy is the head of Dr. Kalam, and called him to go to Trivandrum station, Trivandrum bus station, go to Nargoil to Madurai, Madurai to the board him in go to Rameswaram, stay there for 1 week and come. You take it from me, Kalam came within 4 hours and resumed the duty again. He sent the Trivandrum bus stand, sent off his father and come back. That is all the devotion and dedication he has for the work. Even the boss says you are doing good and you go and come. No, it is the duty oriented because his schedule is you have to launch the payload for the foreign scientists. That kind of dedication has to become. And he has like that, a lot of stories are there. I am not going to discuss that. Only we go to the technical. As is that actually, when the Nandi was operation, Dr. Satya as a high school student used to hear a lot of sound. They are impressed by him. Only he saw in the technical superiority. See, you can see the Kalam, Dr. Satya, Dr. Naminarayanan and Madhav Nayar. This is your Rao and VJ Smriti. He is a boss of Kalam. And Kalam is a boss of Satya. And VJ Smriti is a Kalam of boss of Kalam. And our Vikram Sarabhai is a boss of VJ Smriti. Like that, all the people are there. So Satya is find out a commerce because the early technology hit. What Kalam has done is one of his father's boat met with an accident in a cyclone. So he was sitting and by him and how the boat are being constructed, and especially the wood what they are using, and they told it is to avoid the erosion and bite by the snake and by the ant and everything. We use this kind of seasoned wood like that. So Kalam took a special interest in composite, and on the day itself. So they started building this rocket winding, the rocket motor composite winding machine. That Satya made it with a coconut. There are a lot of coconuts are available with a coconut brushes, the robes. He made it this one. Dr. Kalam came and saw that. Satya is very good. We will show it to our Vikram Sarabhai, and Vikram Sarabhai also appreciated. Immediately Kalam asked Satya, he go to Coimbatore. Not anywhere, not to NASA, not to Bengal, not America. You go to Coimbatore, there where the grinding, there are lot of grinding shops are there, grinder machines. They will be winding this rocket, the electrical wires. Just to see that, you come back, we will do one composite motor winding with a composite plumber. This is what is indigenization. He completely depend upon, the in and out of the industry around that, where it is available. Then, of course, after that, Satya was went abroad and everything that was there. So they made a machine, and Indira Gandhi only switched on this machine when he visited the Simba. So that was his technology, but suitable to our Indian condition, only immediately adapt. Wherever he go to foreign lab, he will not extreme or amazing or like that. He never use the word. He will see the actual performance. He will try to make it in our country. This is what the Shreyas Good. This self-indigenization is the greatest point of technical from Dr. Kalam. We'll see more. So he is about the music also, and he had a lot of the Kalam. Actually, Dr. Aravindan is a senior to Kalam in MIT, and he was in NASA when Kalam went to NASA. So he joined ISRO much before Kalam to Bombay. I think Baba Atomic Research as a trainee. Then he joined VSSC and Kalam followed him actually. So they stayed together, and he has written a book. Recently, only Dr. Aravindan expired, some 1 or 2 months back. So he has written. You have to read this book, then you can understand lot of technical matters. Right, not necessarily. So there we will go there. We'll go for a direct lessons from the RATO, rocket assisted takeoff. They want to develop a rocket and fit it on the aircraft fighter, Indian Air Force fighter, to shorten the takeoff length in the enemy's field or anywhere. So it will be more useful. So Hotel Asoka, he was asked Kalam was asked to meet Vikram Sarabhai at the early morning 3 o'clock at Delhi, Asoka. He was in in Trivandrum. It took 17 hours to reach, even by flight, to reach Delhi. Early by 11 o'clock he went. It was a big hotel, too much beyond the capacity of Dr. Kalam. And he went to the row of the platform side, tea shop and everything, take his dinner, went to the hotel reception, took a book, somebody left a book there, he started reading. He's a voracious reader, everybody knows. There also he started reading. 3 o'clock, and one gentleman has come and sit in front of him in a tight look and with well dressed. Even at 3 o'clock, he was sitting with a stiff. And Dr. Vikram Sarabhai coming at 3 o'clock, they took him, Kalam, and introduced him. He said, Mr. Narayanan of DRDO. Right? Both of them went to the early morning, 5 o'clock, they reached the Air Force station. And Dr. Vikram Sarabhai showed here Russian aircraft fitted with the rocket assisted takeoff. So he told Kalam, you develop a rocket motor, give it to DRDO Narayanan, and he will fit it, we will fly Rato aircraft. At that time, Russian aircraft HF-24 was giving 3,000 kg thrust, right? With 24,000 kg sex, and the weight is 200 kg. So when Kalam come back and thinking, he saw one man, one Jai Chandra Babu. He called him, Babu, can we do this mission? And he will think for some time, and I will come, sir, I will tell you. Tomorrow, next day he comes and he will give some 2 or 3 things. And these are the things allowed, we can make it, they made it, but not used. Right? This is his second failure. Whatever he worked for a long time, but it is not realized. And the same evening, same morning, early morning, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai went to Madam Indira Gandhi house, Prime Minister, took a breakfast, and the early morning news was that Rato project is sanctioned. So this is a way ISRO used to work at those times. All the other departments used to envy because of the closeness of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai with Madam Gandhi. So these are the Panjabandavas, or 5 people who went to NASA for the training. So NASA, US only gave the training in the initial. They gave the design training of the Scout, which is nothing but the SLV. But later days, they became our enemies in the technology. They want India will hold their hand and walk behind. We are not for that. Definitely Kalam is not for that. Yes, holding, it's not holding, it's like handshaking, guided us. He developed, and India developed by themselves. US didn't want, didn't like it even now. So this is Dr. R. Munan, Kalam, his boss, Vijay Murthy, Ithiyas Murthy, and Ramakrishna Rao, and Dr. Ishwara Das is a very good fabrication and manufacturing engineer. He worked till along with Kalam for long. Right, Dr. R. Munan resigned in the VSSC itself, but they were in touch for a long time. So Kalam take his indigenous, when he went to the Bala Island in NASA, when he was in the training, he saw that diagram. Then he find out that nothing but Tipu Sultan is beating. So there only he got the indigenous is better. India is much advanced in the rocket technology. Then before NASA is keeping this picture. So I used to tell, but first, this was the first sounding rocket was launched, and the last minute the hydraulic system failed. Last minute, before launching some 10 minutes. So all the engineers took in their muscles and loaded the sounding rocket into the, this is a Niki Apache. This was given by, this first sounding was given by America, Niki Apache, payload from France, and USSR gave a helicopter to monitor, and a vibration table, and one computer also given by various countries, and India has launched this. This was his first experience as a sounding rocket. You can see, this is the official vehicle, we can use cycle, and this is where that's research, this is such where we started our research. This is the Niki Apache, first American vehicle. It is not our design, but we launched it in Cuba for launching sail. Right, first is Apache, charge of rocket assembly, he was the charge. RSR Rohini rocket program, then he became the head, and it is from 30 kg, payload is 7 kg only. Altitude, it will go to 10 kilometers. So scientists from USSR, France, German, and Japan, they have to come to Kumbal and with their payload and launch. This was the main problem. So Kalam was working like anything to launch their foreign payload, right? So then suddenly when one day the technology, what the technology they understand here. One day they were about to start the sounding rocket, was about to fire. So before the firing, we will give a siren so that all the people get away from the vicinity of the surrounding rocket firing area. Immediately the siren started, the rocket start also started. Then only we understand the electromagnetic wave interference with the timer. So this is one of the great lesson at the time. So then only we saw how to, we have to electromagnetic wave, we must be free the microwave, and the siren and everything must be changed. So a lot of all the things are there. And there was a one good, about to be a big accident. We must have lost Kalam, but it's luckily escaped. He went for a sodium and thermite propellant was kept in a room, and he went inside along with the Sudhakar. So that event, suddenly some drop of sweat fallen on the propellant. It is about taking some time to blast. So luckily Sudhakar pulled Kalam through a glass window and came out of that. After that, Kalam is worried about range safety. That is his area. Red tellers we used to call rocket experiment division. Is the range safety was his in charge. He always concentrate on the range safety, even in SHAR also. In later days when he joined SLV, later days when he are joining the DRDO missiles also. Range safety is the main important thing. He is a Roni rocket family, and Menaga was his rocket what he designed. So I have told, and Velapan I told, and Indira Gandhi was waiting to ignite. They left him, so they take in the cycle by 2 kilometers and go for the launch. At the time, only Kalam was very angry. What happened? Why the payload not come? He doesn't know that the car has not, the jeep has come without these people. Right? He is not alone. You can see this is a group photograph of the versatile and how many people can identify this gentleman, this great man. This is a group of elites and elites. We cannot see, and I have a privilege to see all the people most in my life. Dr. Muthunayan, everybody knows him, Pudankulam. Dr. U.R. Rao, right? No more, he's the chairman, became the chairman. He was in charge for the the second stage of the rocket. Dr. Muthunayan was working in Rolls-Royce, in NASA. He came just because Vikram Sarabhai called, he's a doctor, Purdue University. And Dr. Vasant Gaurikar, he became the ex-vice chancellor of Maharashtra. Right? Dr. Vasant Gaurikar, honorary BSc DMIT. And never folded his leg. You can see all the other people there. Right? Dr. Sadish Chavan, Brahma Prakash, Dr. Guru, in charge of the third stage. Ishwara, who was a manufacturing assembly production. Dr. R. Electronics said that. I think anybody know him? He's a Chandrasekhar. He's a nephew of the Nobel Prize winner, Chandrasekhar. Dr. Ramnath was a controller. Dr. Rade, CSE, a computer head. You can see the Madhavan Nair, who became the ex-chairman, who was the first recruited by Kalam. And Nambudiri sir, and Career State. And Mr. Like that we can see Amarachalam from Tripuram Engineering College, Dr. Amarachalam, Sudhakar Rao. And one more important man, Dr. Rajaram Nagappa, who became the solid propellant, Dr. Sundaraj and NITU. Even now he is giving lecture on the Memorial Day and then some other college. So like that you can see Satya calmly. Dr. Ramurthy, now in IIT, he was working in IIT and Sodanand. Right. Like that is a good idea, right? But most of them have become chairman. Almost all have complete most of the people after that. Right. He was developing, see, each stage was given to everybody. It is not Kalam alone did the SLV. First stage was given to Dr. Gauri. Second stage was given to Dr. Muthunayan. Third stage was given to Mr. Guru. Fourth stage was only, composite stage was given to Kalam. And he is the overall project manager first. Then only he became project director. So at that time, the Professor Kuril from CNA, Center of France, has come. And they called him. He told the fourth stage will be. They are also developing a vehicle called Diamond. They call the vehicle called Diamond. So the third stage will also fit their stage. So alter the design. 2 years hard work Kalam has put alter the combo stage suitable to Diamond also. He was very happy. Very happy. One of our stage is going to fly in the foreign vehicle. CNAs. At the time it doesn't have a vehicle. So Diamond. So he worked for 2 years to modify the SLV fourth stage. And you don't believe, his mother expired during that time. He went in the morning and returned in the evening. Directly went to the graveyard, and pretty said he didn't even go to the parent house. He come back. Why? After that, he had to go to France on the next day for the testing of the motor at the. He preferred. That is what Kalam. His mother worried, come back, and he has written a lot about mother and everything. But when his coming his duty, he sacrificed everybody. That everybody must note that. We also thought, why this fellow has come back in the evening itself. At least 1 week we used to say, as per our custom. So he come back, and because there is a testing is going on in France in the CNES for the 4th stage, he come back and went for the testing. And that one, another one, these were the SLV and my direct interaction with him. I will tell you, this is as is known. The other vehicle, PSLV, GSLV, you can see the vehicle will stand apart, tower will be apart. That you must have noticed. But in this way, the SLV will stand on the launcher itself. There will be a pin here. There is a 50 mm pin will be here that will be going inside and supporting, and it will be by the self weight it's sitting on the launcher. But while leaving, it will take around some 4 seconds only. It has to leave complete length of the vehicle, has to leave this launcher structure and fly. Kalam called me and give you a big drawing, the same drawing he gave to me. He used to call me as a Paman boy because I am from the Paman Island. My father was working as a Rajagopal, he was working in the railway station master. So anyway, I am not from Paman or Rameswaram, I am from Sri Lanka. So he called me Paman boy. He come and do this. And I do a structural analysis of this vehicle. It is a dynamic response analysis. It is not just alone structural analysis, it is a dynamic response analysis. I have to see from the natural, using the natural frequency mode shape, whether the leaving vehicle will hit with the launcher which is supporting the vehicle during the takeoff. Because after leaving that, it will be a free beam. So I analyzed it. He made me to make like anything, day, night, evening. I was a bachelor. Oh, what are you doing? Work like that. One day I was coming down. After 8 o'clock, I saw one jeep was standing. Kalam was sitting coolly inside. So I get in. Okay, come, I will drop. Okay, I thought it is a good thing. Then one day I realized it is a worst thing. After 8 o'clock, he started, opened the output and started discussing what happened, this, that, and everything. Till we reach city, Trivandrum city, around 12 kilometers. As soon as I get down, I escaped from him and went for the dinner. So he finally, he will go through all the things, but you see that out of the 40-50 output I showed him, he selected 5 and went through that. And finally he selected, then he find out the vehicle can leave some 0.5 seconds earlier. There is no chance of both are colliding. This is the conclusion he has come. He asked all the engineers how to do that, to leave the vehicle 0.4 seconds before, out of 4 seconds. So he finally come to a decision. That is his technical design. Kindly cut the pin which is supporting 50 mm by some 10 mm. You don't believe, without any collision, the left. This is what is technical detail. His involvement, that problem taking decision. Like that, I can say lot of examples during the SLB time. Right? Then he became an Indian ballistic missile. And one more thing. He was SLV, first one was not successful. Power. So before launching, all the umbilical tower will be withdrawn. We are giving withdrawn command, only 2 others, the last one is not coming out. He was sitting in the VIP gallery. He came down to the control room. what happens? Then they decide. Practical decision. We either would afford the launch and again we have to dismantle. No. One papaya, I think. Dimaya, I think. A tradesman came forward to claim this and took away this. And Kalam went with him, stand under it, and he went up and pulled out down there. So this is what the practical problem solving. Even though he was not involved, he was asked to involve. Fourth SLV, he didn't come. Even our director Brahma Prakash and the other day Dr. Gaurikar was the center director. Everybody came. Dhawan, Indira Gandhi also came. But Kalam didn't come for the final launch of the SLV. He was asked to wait. See the sharpness of the answer. I am in defense. Defense is not for peace. ISRO is for peace. As a DRDL director, I should not live in a peaceful this. That's why somebody asked how you became Bokran. Same thing. The answer is coming here. I am a defense person. I will not participate in the ISRO's peace program. That is the answer. He didn't come for SLV. Okay. Right. But don't share it outside. So in the ballistic missile, all these things is it. The one of the things which gave him a big headache is the Agni missile. There is a very good story of Agni. See, it is an integrated, lot of integrated guided missile development program, IGMDP. Right, under this only all these are SSM, SAM, IRBM, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, inter-range and surface-to-air missile. Lot of missiles are concerned. And he was developing Agni, which has a 5,500 kilometer range. Then Agni traveled at the speed of Mach 5.5 hypersonic and approximately 6,800 kilometers per hour. The hypersonic re-entry also at 400 degrees C. It will re-enter. Missiles will re-enter. Satellite will not re-enter. If a rocket re-enter means it's a failure. Missile has to re-enter. If it is not re-enter, then it is a failure for missile. Okay. So at 400 degrees C, it has to re-enter. So we need a hypersonic internal testing. This is our method of determining the loads on the vehicle during re-entry as well as leaving the atmosphere. But we doesn't have a hypersonic internal at the time in India in 1980s. We find a place. We made a 1:1000 model, 25 kg weight from DRO Stuttgart. At which ceremony is a 7-member team is formed. We will go to Stuttgart in Germany. They agreed. No other countries has agreed, especially Russia, US, Canada. Nobody has agreed to test our Agni missile in the 80s. You have to kindly remember. Those who had completed scout detail in 1963, 65, when we grow up 1980, we want to test a missile, they stopped. So all the committee and reached the 7-member team reached Delhi to go for Stuttgart. But there was a Ronald Reagan, president of US, say stop it. So he put a rule, MTCR, Missile Technology and Control Regime. Under this regime, anybody cannot send a missile, any country should not send a missile more than 300 kilometers, right? And 200 kg, which is aimed for Agni not to launch. Right? We are not for that. So Agni testing is we are not possible in the wind tunnel. It is not possible. Missile like this there because we have 500 kg, 300 kilometers. This is a maximum range. Right? We are much more than that. Agni is much more than that. Then this is what the technical problem. Immediately, Kalam in a perpendicular direction fit. Wind tunnel is a hardware testing. He think of a software testing. That is the perpendicularity of the thought. He is not linear thought thinking. So it is a problem solving, and we have to think in so many ways. That's why you go above the problem and thinking. That's what he followed. So he went to see the Professor Deshpande in Indian Soft Science. And he was running one software, newly developed software. He was trying to develop a software called Computational Fluid Dynamics, CFD, which everybody knows. Even any BE engineering people also know now what is computational fluid dynamics. He was developing a software. So he went there. Now the problem is, okay, it's very good. We will do with this and we'll match the test result with the previous flight result. But became a very high-speed computer. Again, next block. Where is the high-speed computer in our India? It is not there. I think 1985 only cyber was bought at BSSC when I was there. So, so what he did, is there any software, client equalization speed method, they find out. But Kalam went to ES, Seattle, to get a supercomputer. That Seattle Microsoft chief welcomed him, not Bill Gates, other administrative officer, welcomed Kalam and gave a very good breakfast, very good lunch, and discussed a lot with the Kalam. And finally told, I am ready to give you a dinner, but not the supercomputer. So Kalam returned empty hand. See that? Because we have to we find a solution software, but again it is a computer. Then they find a computer, and that is called the Param computer. And then 1989, the Agni launching is for research. It is because it is a 1000 kg Agni, 800-kilometer range, 100% indigenous. Right? Over the state boundary. You can name. These are like Shishya, Dr. Arunachalam. He only is a guru for Kalam. Even he was working in the BEM. He approached him when the SLV time, there was a IMU is there. You have to make it within 5 kg, within 5 days you have to come. That is a Kalam went with the model to the BEM Bangalore at the gate, and he met Dr. Arunachalam, and he gave him a thermosetting plastic method to without weight, this one, and 5 kg given. From then they are started, and he is the man who was instrumental for bringing Kalam to DRDL after in his position. So Kalam followed his position all the way, except the president. And he is Dr. Sarath. He is another Shishya of this. There is a big story. After that, when he was the director of Prithvi. Integrated testing range, Chandipur, Orissa. Today, May 3 a.m. There is a call from Dr. B.S. Arunachalam, scientific advisor to, then scientific advisor to Defense Minister. What is the call? Arunachalam is calling. Mr. Session, TN Session wants to talk to you. Simple. Everybody know who is TN Session. I need not say Session on the phone. Where are we in Agni? Early morning. There is no cell phone. Early morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we have to launch the Agni. 3 o'clock, call is coming. Wait and watch situation. So, where are we in Agni? Now, Kalam has to, it is not a wait and watch situation. According to Kalam, he has written. It is an act and achieve situation. It's not wait. We have to act and achieve because 5 o'clock, before 5 o'clock, we have to launch. Otherwise, next day, cyclone is hitting. This is a construction. So, you are wait and watch. So, sir, we are at the point of no return. It is a aircraft term. At the point of no return means you will not go to come back. It has to be launched. Right? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So that's what. That was, it is not fear. Courage is important. Acham என்பது மடமையதான். So where is Agni? It is not, it cannot be quit. Kalam, that is a courage we must have. He may be looking polite and very soft and philosophical, but he is the strongest man here. You will not be knowing the person. Same thing. Beryllium. There was a beryllium, this one was there, is necessary for the satellite. So where the beryllium will be there, then he asked where the beryllium is coming. Beryllium is coming, they are made to US has to give. So it is coming from US. Then we contacted US. US told we are not giving. They know where we are going to use already. That's why we are not giving. We are our production itself is we are needing more much. Right. Then where is the beryllium is coming? For USA, Japan only giving beryllium 6. Then we asked Japan where you are getting. We are getting from India. See, this was the network. So a product which is going from raw product India, it is coming through US to India. So he find out the route. He started himself beryllium by India itself. This is the best example for his indigenous technology. Another one, LCA DDoS, everybody will be knowing. There we want to develop a control software. With the Lockheed Martin of USA has come forward. There we will give the hardware, they will give the software, we will jointly develop, then we'll use it. After Bokhran blast, suddenly everybody was sent out from France. All the scientists are asked to come back, go back to India. because India gets a Bukharin bomb, no? So it is a greater thing for them. So they stopped it and they took the software along with the hardware. So he himself convened immediately next day. Kalam convened a big meeting of all control software of the country from IIT, IIC, and wherever all the IIT were from the industry. He convened a big meeting and developed software in-house. In Kargil war, we need some of the satellite maps of Kargil. We asked the ES, but ES as usual refused. Then we okay. We will do our own. That is called the IRMS, which is in the operation. It's called CIVIC. Is the GPS of India is IRMS development. Right, 2 layers of satellites are being used. These are some of the factors we can. Right. So, like when SLV was a failure, Dr. Sadish Sawan took the blame. And he only addressed the press. Like that, Prithvi, there was a failure. And Dr. Saraswat was the project director, and Dr. Annachalam was the director. DRDO is ready to fire the team. Then Kalam intervened and took the charge. Yes, it is by blame. So a leader must pass the lesson to the coming people. He learned the lesson from Sadish Sawan, and same thing he practiced. Whatever he learned, practice is the success of the Kalam. Right? Agni, lot of people criticized Agni. He also got angry. But still, without that, he launched the Agni and went there. He was very much there. At the same time, there was a phone call at midnight from Dr. Vajpayee, he was a Prime Minister. Kalam, so we can't come and join in my cabinet. When the early morning I will tell the decision, sir, he went for the breakfast with Dr. Vajpayee. Prime Minister told clearly, I have 2 scientific facts. One is Agni, another is Bokrai. These 2 things are I am heading. So I have to finish this. I cannot become a cabinet minister. Anybody will say in this world, when a cabinet minister was just like that offered to him in 1988. That is the reason why same Dr. Vajpayee called him and give a president. If he accepts the cabinet minister, he may not become a president at the time. So he gives the duty first. So same prime minister called him and became a prime president. Don't say no. Yes, that was the life of Kalam. Right? As you told, the caliber. Right? This is made up of the composite. I told you, Kalam is always fond of composite. That is why in the 4th stage of SLV, same thing is used. It is around some, not 300, it is 300 grams come. Then it became weightless and he used it. That was told by the previous speaker also. And he made one of his driver as a doctorate. He working in somewhere in Tamil Nadu. Dr. Kadireshan now. He was a driver for Dr. Kalam. He did BA. This is called the motivation. It is not enough you only study, you only become doctor. It is very difficult to make another doctor. If my driver is a doctor, he can easily climb. He measure him as a person now. So like that, that is the reason why he can be kept as a godlike person. All right. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your excellent presentation. Audience, if you have any questions, you may ask the resource person.
Yes, sir. May I ask a question?
Yeah, Subikumar, voice is not getting. I think you have finished your breakfast. You can ask now.
Sir, your transparent lecture is very much accessible one. Sir, you had mentioned that software development, Dr. Kalam had a great contribution in your ISRO.
No,
software development, Dr. Kalam had a great contribution in ISRO.
No, not clear. Not clear. Somebody can type the question. You can answer.
Yes, in the software engineering development for initiated by ISRO. Sir, one
CFD, there was a group. Yeah, even I understand your CFD group. There was the ISRO, and it was joint development by DRDO. The software, they test funding, and the JTPL, joint development project. The team was formed under Mr. Kulkarni, and all went to IAC. They developed combined development only, and there was a separate group in BSSC that is for a different thing. That is for the missile layer under the mind. So CFD just want a lead, and Kalam with the DRDO, they developed the software and used it. There is a code called BIMA that is also developed by DRDO scientists under the guidance of this one. And lot of DRDO scientists do a doctorate under him, Dr. Deshpande. He guided a lot of people from DRDO also. So it is with the Indians of science, difficult software development. Yeah, any other question? Any question?
Participants, if you have any queries, you may ask the speaker now.
Sir, am I permission to ask a question, another one?
Yeah, you can talk in Tamil also. Even if you want, you ask in Tamil also. Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah, you can ask in Tamil also if you want. Any question? Sibit Kumar, you are not audible. You are not audible. Can you type the message?
I'm not audible, sir.
So, any other questions, sir?
You can type the question in the chat box also if you want.
Sir, you can write the query in the chat box message also.
Yeah,
Sir.
Yeah, they can type the question in the chat box. I can answer.
Participant?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Actually, what I want to know,
Sir, I think Sibit Kumar, can you type the question in the message because your voice is not being heard. But I see your answer. You are asking something constantly. Okay, right.
Others? If you have any queries? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. And it's time to say a word of thanks. Today we are celebrating 90th year birth anniversary of the greatest Indian aerospace scientist, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. On behalf of Secretary, come Chairperson, Puducherry Council for Science and Technology, I thank our resource person, Dr. Nalasamy, Associate Professor in Physics, Tagore Arts College, for delivering a lecture on Missile Man of India, and Professor R.R. Ilangovan, former ISRO scientist and Professor in Aerospace Department, KCG College of Technology, Karapakam, Chennai, for delivering a wonderful lecture on A.P.J. Abdul Kalam and Indian space technology. I would like to thank our member secretary, senior scientific officer, who are behind the webinar for making it a great success. I would like to thank all the participants for taking the time to be here today and for listening to the whole session of the webinar. And I hope this webinar is very useful to all participants to know about Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam biography and his contribution in space technology. Further, I kindly request all the participants to fill the feedback form for getting his certificate. The feedback form link is given in the chat box. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thanks, sir. Can I do? Thank you. Thank you very much for
Yes, sir.
giving me the opportunity. I thank you, the Abdul Kalam Science Center, and I am nearby only. One day I will make a visit. If you want, we can have a discussion also. Right. I
Yes.
want to come and
Welcome,
meet you
sir.
all.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome,
Or
sir.
further anything, you can contact me. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.